Hello and welcome to another edition of European Football Adda. It's me, Devapam, along with Krishnendu, who are back after a brief hiatus. Essentially, the section of each of those Euro tournaments was not falling on a weekend for us to put together a show for you. I think that is the reason that we could not bring you our analysis after the pre-quarters and the quarters. But here we are back before the final match, and there are two finalists who are, I think both are very deserved finalists amongst the big names. These are the two teams which have probably shown the best. Spain easily is the best team of this tournament. England, I think, has come back from the brink a number of times, not only in the
Pre-quarters,
in the
Slovakia.
quarters, but also in the semis. They fell back and then they came back. So it has been a resilient English team, something that we do not usually associate with the England team. That England team is like a fair weather team. That if they're going rolling, they roll on, and if they get stuck at the first instance. That's what had happened in 2018 semi-finals against Croatia. That's what had happened in the 2021 finals against Italy, and the same thing that had happened in the 2022
Quarters against
finals.
France.
Yeah. So the greatest believer of Gareth Southgate and his managerial nows, Krishnendu, what do you see in this new England team, which has pulled them to the second consecutive um, European final? And how much do you attribute it to Sir Gareth?
I think England have improved over the course of the tournament. They have, like, their best performance was the first 45 minutes against the Netherlands in the semi. It was their best performance of the tournament. They have improved. They have looked better. Southgate stumbled onto his best players in the tournament. We have to remember everybody is praising Kobe Manu for his brilliant performance against Netherlands in the semi-finals. Manu didn't even start the first three games. Southgate was persisting with a right back and Conor Gallagher in the middle. So Southgate, I would credit Southgate for understanding formation should work with this England team, but they have stumbled. He has stumbled on. They have. It's not actually a planned thing that they will come in and they will play this way. They will play with three at the back. They started out with four at the back. Then they shifted to three at the back. They turned Saka into a left wing back, into a right wing back. So these are all things that Southgate stumbled onto because everything was going really badly for him in the group stage and in the pre-quarters. They were seconds away from getting knocked. They scored in 95th minute. It's not, I won't say it's luck. Jude Bellingham scored that goal. There's no element of luck. But I would agree, England were in the more easier half of the leg of the tournament.
That's not England's fault. That's not England's fault.
That's not England's fault. I agree. That's not England's fault. But they got that part right. They finished top of the group and they dropped into this. Although it's not England, it's England's credit. They did finish top of the group. So they did finish. They get this Slovakia, Denmark, and sorry, they played quarterfinals against which team? I got you.
They played quarterfinals against Slovenia. Yeah.
Slovenia, Slovakia, Slovenia, Netherlands. So this was an easier route.
Sorry, it was Slovakia. It was Slovakia.
What pre-quarters was Slovakia. Quarterfinals was
Switzerland.
Switzerland. Yeah, quarters was Switzerland, which was, by the way, Switzerland is a good team. They did beat a good team. Switzerland is not a.
What do you have to say that in all these three knockout matches, England went behind, and then
England went behind, and then they came back.
Then they came back, and
this is a mentally tougher team. I will definitely agree that their experience. They have reached the semi-finals, quarterfinals, and the finals in the last three tournaments. So that shows. The experience shows. Netherlands were playing their first European Championship semi-final in what 16, 20 years. So that showed the lack of experience actually showed, and England looked more. I would say Netherlands came back into the game in the second half. They looked a better team, but I always felt that England have that one goal, that point, and moment of magic. And I have to agree that Ollie Watkins' goal was a very good goal because that was a very difficult angle to shoot from. Like he would have scored only in that spot. Any any 2 inches here, he would have saved it. 2 inches there, the ball would have gone wide. So that was a very good goal. But I always felt that England had that extra factor in them to find that goal, and they did. And I do think this is a mentally stronger team. Um, I I would agree, of course, if Spain play the way they have throughout, they will win. But this is a resilient, more mentally stronger English team than the one that lost against Italy in the final.
And again, do you feel that you said that the team has stumbled upon a winning formula? How much of it is the coach's mastermind planning it along with other support staff? And how much is it the credit of the players alone?
Just watch the England game. Let's take the Netherlands game. England start most games very flatly. They only spring into their thing when they concede a goal. You have to understand they have the attackers to actually, like, if you allow the England attackers to play the way they want to, they actually have a very good team. But for that, England need to concede first. If Netherlands and England was 0-0 at halftime, it would have been a very boring game because I accept Ronald Koeman is the Dutch, so it would have been a very boring game. The reason it became a very interesting game because both teams scored early. Netherlands scored this brilliant goal from Javi Simons, and then England scored, which with a, in my opinion, a lucky penalty because I don't think that would have been given in the Premier League. If I was watching a Premier League match, that penalty would not. The reason it became an interesting match is because there were early goals. If there were no early goals, these two managers would have made it a very plodding, boring affair in the middle of the. I would credit Southgate for finding solutions. Like it did take some amount of courage to take off Harry Kane and put on Ollie Watkins for the last 15 minutes because Harry Kane was not making those diagonal runs that Watkins, the run that Watkins made, which resulted to the goal. Harry Kane would not have made that. So it did take courage, but again, he stumbled onto a winning formula. He has realized that he has attacking players on the bench and on the pitch who can do the job. So he's taking that extra bold decision that he would not have taken maybe 2 years or 3 years ago. So I can see that change. But I still don't believe he is maximizing the potential of this.
What do you make of their opponents, the Spain team? Do they have weaknesses? If so, what are the weaknesses?
Kurela is a huge weakness. But he's lucky that he will face up against Saka. Saka is a wonderful player, but Saka doesn't have the physicality to dominate Cucurella. Cucurella often gets bullied at the back post when crosses come from the left. So I don't think England, if England are smart, they will ask Kane or someone who is a physically more dominating player to actually be on Cucurella's case throughout the game. England is smart, they should do that. And another problem I see with this is Spain's weakness and Spain's strength. Dani Almo is not a number 8. He will play instead of Pedri in the final because Pedri is injured. Olmo is not a number 8. Olmo is a number 10. So you're playing a number 10 in a number 8. And the midfield plays very high up. Like I believe England would really miss Marcus Rashford in the fight. That pace behind would have been an extraordinary weapon in this game. The midfield plays high, the defense plays high. There you can actually ping the ball behind the defense and could have used Marcus Rashford. I would say I think England will go with Luke Shaw in the final instead of Kieran Trippier. They should. And I have a feeling they would throw in one of those pacey attackers. They should. I don't know whether they will, but they should, like an Anthony Gordon or Ollie Watkins in the final, who can actually run behind the defense, because the Spanish defense has to play high because the midfield plays high. So that's a weakness that can be exploited. But I'm not sure whether Southgate will actually change the winning.
What do you think that the Spain have to do? I mean, they have mostly been the superior team in each one of
Yeah.
the contests that they have had, major contests. So they played Italy, completely dominated Italy. They played Germany, dominated Germany. They for major part, Germany came back in probably the last 30 minutes. Even against France, completely dominated France, made Theo Hernandez look. So they have, I mean, usual French um, passing accuracy has now been married to a pragmatism. So we saw that they were not, yeah, they didn't have the major position against. What do you think that Spain have to do? Major, I think this is going to be their.
But the best midfielder of this European Championship, in my opinion, is Kobe Menu. He has looked absolutely brilliant throughout the when he came into the starting 11. Once he came into the starting 11, there was no dropping him because he has been absolutely brilliant. If they can shut out Menu, because if you remember the Netherlands game, Menu and Foden were having so much fun in the first. They were like playing around. They were like, it's like they were children playing in the park. They have to shut out Menu first of all, because I do not believe Declan Rice has the ability on the ball actually control the game against a Spanish midfield. Kobe Menu has that midfielder's tenacity, the capacity to control the game, to dictate the pace of the game. He has been doing this for England for the last 3-4 matches. They have to shut out Menu. They have to find a way to lessen his impact on the team. Because if you take Menu out of the England midfield right now, Declan Rice has looked really bad throughout the tournament. Like he has been exposed in a way. He looks very good at Arsenal because he plays with Jorginho or Partey. So he plays as a number 8. So his weaknesses, which is his passing is a major problem, gets hidden behind Jorginho, and it gets exposed when he plays for England. Because England did not have a passing midfielder who can actually control the pace of the game like a Menu before Menu came in. So they have to control Menu. I think England's most dangerous attacker throughout this tournament has been Bukas. He has been England's chief creator. He has looked very good. They Saka will be against Cucurella because that will be the battle that might end up defining the game. If Saka ends up dominating Cucurella, Spain might have a long night. It's a Spanish opponent. A lot of Barcelona players. You might see a glimpse of the Real Madrid.
I feel you are very squarely pegging yourself on the English side. In my view, I feel
I'm saying these are the things that Spain have to do.
No, but I feel that, for example, I feel Fabian Ruiz probably has been the best midfielder so far. His stats, his control, all of it is out of the charts. Then you marry that to Rodri. I know Cucurella is probably the weakest point. But let me put something to you. Spain has reached this final winning 6 matches. That is the most that any team has won in any Euro, anywhere, anytime. Of course, that means that because the Euro has now changed. Even if you go to the World Cup, the World Cup has switched to 32. I mean, the Euros is now 24 member team. World Cup had switched to 32 long back. But still, it is the same. So group stages, 3 matches, then pre-quarter, quarter, semi-final, and final. Of course, World Cup also has the third placed matchup. So possibility of 7 matches, right? 3 group stage matches plus 4 knockout matches. In the history of international football, where we have Euros, World Cup combined, only one team has managed 7 wins. That is Brazil of 2000. That is
But
Brazil.
When I was looking at the Netherlands England game, only team that I thought can stop Spain in the final is England. I don't think Netherlands have the defense.
No, Netherlands were a third-rate team who got lucky. So
I believe England have the defensive resilience to keep out Spain, to like stop Spain, and then they have the attacking quality, which in my opinion is Spain's weakness. Of course, Rodri is the best midfielder, best defensive midfielder in the world right now. There is absolutely no one close to Rodri. The last time Rodri and Menu faced a cup final.
Let me give you another thing. So I told you about the stat that Spain are on the verge of equaling something which is never been
Never
done,
been done.
never been done outside of that 2002 World. But on the other hand, if I look at Sir Gareth is the only manager. Okay, what is the lowest point that he has ever exited a major tournament? Quarterfinals,
Quarterfinals, yeah. World Cup
right?
quarterfinals.
Right. Now, if you if you look at the history of England team with its multiple golden generations, it's not one generation, multiple golden generations.
But there was one golden generation. I think
No, no,
2002.
no, no, no. There were multiple. I'm sure.
I know.
Yeah.
Nobody in 2008 they didn't qualify for the European Championship.
So in the 4 tournaments that Sir Gareth has led, he has reached 2 finals. In the previous 23 World Cup and Euro appearance, guess how many finals did they reach?
They haven't reached the final since 66.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. So they reached only one final.
And they reached only one semi-final, 1996 European Championship. That's it.
Correct. So it's a barren field, and Sir Gareth is a monument, deserves his own monument.
Just going to just going back in time, 2002 World Cup, they lost to Brazil in the quarter. One of the most brain-dead decisions that Sven-Goran Eriksson made when he played his second string side in the last group match against Serbia, and they drew and they finished second. They finished first. They would have if they would have made the final, they would have made final against Brazil. They wouldn't have qualified or got out in the quarterfinals. So that if there is a golden generation of England players, that was the 2002 and 2004 European Championship team. Other than that,
even 1998 it was good.
1998 was a good team. Argentina was better. Brazil was better.
No,
France was better.
In Argentina beat with 10 men in a penalty shootout with 10 men. Right?
Yeah. They were a better team. Like I always believe France was a better team. Brazil was a better team. And Netherlands had a far better team. So England 2002 genuinely good side. 2004 European Championship genuinely good side. 2006 poor. 2010 poor. 14 poor. So I'm sorry. There's gold. Nobody believed in England's golden generation.
Okay. Let's come to the burning topic, and that is what do you make of Lamine Yamal?
He is for a 17. The last time I saw.
He's still a 16-year-old. Still.
Last time I saw a teenager play this well in a European Championship and absolutely dominating the European Championship until they got knocked out was Wayne Rooney of 2004. That's the last time I saw a teenager play this well. Like I remember 2004's European Championship, Wayne Rooney. That was the player I remember, and now Yamal. He is, if he doesn't suffer from any stupid injuries, and if he keeps his head, if his head is in the right place, he is destined to be one of the greatest of his generation. He's so good at 17. Like the amount of maturity he shows at 17. And he doesn't play, he's not playing a very easy role. He's basically a hybrid winger and midfield. So good at 17. If he just keeps away from injuries, and I hope the Barcelona politics that a lot of young players go through, if he can avoid all that, I think he's destined for great. We will turn out to be one of the greatest. So then we have seen a lot of.
So all we are away from is a 200 million bid from PSG, and then Lamine Yamal can become, another graduate from the PSG academy, or even a 200 million bid from Newcastle, even Man City. So it will become evident soon. It's one thing to rise at one club, and it's another thing to pace your career in this kind of a cutthroat money.
To be honest, if you
like, for example, I give you another player who's shown as a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, 18-year-old, Donnarumma. When he came up, it seemed that like who's Buffon? We have got an upgrade on Buffon. And 8 years now, we are saying Vicario is probably a better goalkeeper. So
see, if I took Wayne Rooney's name, so it would seem stupid for someone to suggest that a person who became his club's greatest ever goal scorer and his country's greatest ever goal scorer. But in my opinion, the Wayne Rooney I saw in 2004, he didn't realize his full potential.
Same thing. I mean,
That's my opinion.
Same thing. We can now. I mean, even Mbappe is only less than 25. Okay.
Yeah.
Strikers reach their full potential around 28, 29. But he should have already won at least 2 World Cups and at least 1 Euro.
Could have won the if Kolo Muani had been a little calmer, he could have won the second World Cup.
Yeah. So he should have won it. So I'm just saying that. Yeah. So I mean, Mbappe was supposed to be the greatest since Pele, and now one of our friends are calling Lamine Yamal as the greatest since Pele. Ritom said that he's the greatest since Pele. So I don't know.
I haven't.
That's probably the Barcelona genes speaking. But let me come to another aspect of it. One of the things that I've been very disappointed in this Euro, and then I did a little bit of a digging, and I found it is a habit in the years when Spain has won a tournament, and that is the top goal scorer. In the last 30 years, I take. So today is 2024. I go back to 1994. The first Euro is 1996. Okay. Since 1996, if I come to this, there were only 2 Euros when the top goal scorer scored less than 5 goals. Guess which one?
2012. So 2008 and 2012.
2008, there were 5 people who scored 3 goals, became top scorer. 2008, Silva, he scored, not Silva, sorry, the other striker from Barcelona.
Yeah, David
Villa scored 4 goals and he became the top scorer. So every time Spain actually wins a tournament, they automatically bring down the bar for the top. I don't know. I mean, if there should be a linkage, right? When I went back till 1996, every time the top goal scorer had. At 1992, I found that when Denmark won, the top goal scorer had 3 goals. And then I had to go back another 12 years. 1988, Van Basten had 5 goals. 84, Platini had 9 goals. And then when I went back to 1980, when the teams were not 24 teams, there were 16 teams, even less than that. I think that is when there were 3 goals. So whenever Spain wins, now we have 5 members who are at top score at 3 goals apiece. Jamal Musiala, Ivan Schranz, Georges Mikautadze, Dani Olmo, and Cody Gakpo. Of that, only and of course Harry Kane. So of that, only Musiala, Olmo, and Harry Kane can possibly become the top goal scorer. What do you make of this? Is it good for world football if Spain becomes champions, or is it doesn't make for a spectacle? Because having goals.
Yeah, the top goal scorers have underperformed. Let's say Mbappe has underperformed. Harry Kane has underperformed. Even though he might end up being the top goal scorer of this tournament, he has massively underperformed. So it's not Spain. It's the forwards who were actually expected to do well, haven't done well. And Spain's forward is Alvaro Morata. He's one of, if 20 years later, if I'm talking to a 20-year-old kid and I show him Alvaro Morata's Wikipedia page, played for Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Chelsea, AC. He might play for AC Milan now. So they're big clubs. He's played for big clubs, and I would say he was one of the worst forwards we have seen in this era. So that's the problem. Spain do not have the kind of forwards that will go and score goals for the team. So the attacking midfielders, the wingers come in. Spain, I don't think Spain have done anything radically different for world football to change if they win the tournament. I don't think so. World football has been going away from number 9. There are very few number 9s who are persisted in the game these days. It's mostly inverted forwards or the kind of Joshua Zirkzee kind of forwards who drop deep. These are the kind of players who are going to be the goal scorers of the future. Number nines, as we say, they are becoming extinct. So it's not Spain's fault. It's the football has been going towards this change. So yeah, it's not good. I don't think we are going to see number nine score 6, 7 goals in a World Cup or a European Championship.
So I know that we have seen quite a few performances amongst teams. The fight of Georgia or Slovenia or Switzerland, for example, taking England to tiebreaker and then losing in the tiebreaker. What has been one of your or any of your, you know, good memories of teams that have exited so far? Which are the ones that you will probably remember?
Georgia, I think Kvaratskhelia and the color that they brought to the tournament, the fans, absolutely, it was very nice to watch the Georgian team. Exit, I think Slovakia were very unlucky to go out against England in the pre-quarters. They played really well, but one moment of magic from a Real Madrid midfielder changed the game. Yeah, I would say the team that have won hearts in this tournament, I would say it's Georgia. Georgia have looked, and I have been really, really disappointed by Italy. Like the way they exited the tournament, it was such a limp performance against Spain. I was one of those who actually predicted Italy might not qualify. They did qualify, but it was a very limp performance against Spain. Uh, I was really disappointed. But other than that, yeah, Georgia is my team that I really want.
And I would say that, yeah, I mean, Italy really disappointed, but I loved Romania had, Netherlands played, a couple of matches really well. I liked the fight of Georgia. That was awesome. Italy were really limp. I cannot imagine France reached a final, a semi-final, and did not have a single goal scored from any one of their from open play. They did score. Mbappe scored from the penalty spot, but nothing from the open play. So that was really, really disappointing. One of the better teams, and the other huge disappointment, and which should probably pull him now into permanent retirement, is we expected great things from Cristiano Ronaldo. We felt that he's in a slightly weak group, especially with Georgia, Czech Republic, and Turkey. We even predicted that he would probably score a hat trick. Didn't even come close to one. So really, really, poor from Portugal, really poor from France, really poor from even Denmark. I expected better things from that team, but they probably, the the adrenaline rush that they had in 2021 was probably missing this time around. So they probably ended up as a mediocre team, and we would probably have much rather seen a Norway team here with probably the best number 9 in the world playing rather than this kind of a mediocre team.
I would suggest Norway, like if Norway can't qualify in a 24 team championship, European Championship tournament, then I don't think they have the overall quality to do well.
Yeah.
Even Scotland qualified. Come on, Scotland.
Scotland qualified. Scotland qualified. Turkey qualified.
Turkey qualified. And Turkey were a surprise element of this tournament. They would look good.
Yeah. But they played only poor sides. So, but anyway, we have 5 minutes left. Let's come to the brink of it. 3 questions. First one, champion. Second one, your golden ball. And third one, golden ball.
I think Spain will win the tournament. Spain wins the tournament. Yamal is getting the golden ball. There's absolutely no doubt about it. And the golden boot, if it's England score a goal, then I think Harry Kane will make the goal.
But Yamal and Danny Olmo both, and Harry Kane, all three are on 3 scores.
I'm predicting Alvaro Morata will score the winning goal for Spain.
Yeah, I mean it's pathetic that we having this kind of a situation. So, for example, if we just look at teams players which are even on 2 goals, Spain has Fabian Ruiz on 2 goals. Okay, England has Jude Bellingham on 2 goals, right? So it's possible that somebody who has not scored the third goal but had scored 2 goals has a double and then they win. But
I think Yamal is going to win the Golden Ball regardless of who wins. In my
is it
opinion,
is it only because of that one goal, or because you feel that he has
he's
played?
played really well throughout the tournament. Of course, as a Manchester United fan, I would give it to Menu if England wins, but Yamal will end up winning it.
I would say that Yamal has, of course, played that well, but even so, Dani Olmo, uh, or even Rodri, if you look at it from that perspective.
The Golden Ball is not. It's a very political kind of a thing. It's not going to go to a Daniel Olmo or a Rodri. It's going to go to an attacker.
Yeah.
It's just going to go to an attacker.
Yeah, I would much rather have a Fabian Ruiz or a Jude Bellingham suddenly scoring a double in the final and winning the Golden Boot. That would be
Jude Bellingham, a Real Madrid player turning up on a final won't be a surprising thing.
Okay. So that's it for this special edition. You can hear my voice. I had some issues with my voice. We'll be back after the final to do a wrap up of this Euro and also share some of our plans for the season up ahead. It's been a pleasure so far sharing our thoughts with you of this Euro tournament. We know that there is also another parallel continental cup going on where it's a much almost a Mickey Mouse Cup considered.
I want to talk. I will say one thing about Copa America, and Argentina, Brazil fans might hate me for it. It's not a serious tournament. If you do not have extra time until the final, you just can't change the rules of the game. It's a preseason tournament. It's basically a preseason tournament. A few years back, it was being played every year so that one individual could win it. I'm not going to name him. One individual could win it. And now they are playing no extra time until the final. In US, where the pitches have been poor, training facilities have been poor. Marcelo Bielsa has gone ballistic in his press conference. It's a preseason. It's a preseason tournament.
And a tournament where Canada reaches semi-finals.
Semi-final. I'm sorry.
Raises big questions. So I'm not going to talk about that. Quality-wise, there's no difference at all. So we'll be back again. If you like this show, please subscribe to it. Please share it amongst your friends. Thanks a lot.